So, a guy gets cancer and a shady man offers him a cure but makes him look like this. Doesn't that sound like the perfect love story? Because it does to me. Hello everyone, welcome to my review of Deadpool. Spoiler free, of course, don't worry about it. In 1 hour-ish time, I'll also upload a spoiler review, which is not really a review, more of a talk, but you get what that means, right? So, Deadpool has had a weird journey in the movie universe, if you have been keeping up with Deadpool's exploits. I mean, Deadpool was I think a popular comic book character, but he wasn't really as popular as, like, Wolverine, for example. I mean, outside of the comics, he didn't really even appear until we got him in, like, 2 shots of, I remember 2 moments in X-Men the Animated Series where Deadpool appears. But outside of that, we basically got nothing of him until they were like, hey, let's make a Wolverine Origins movie and let's make Deadpool the main bad guy to fight. So, casting-wise, where do we go? Well, there's this wisecracking guy, Ryan Reynolds. Maybe he could be good for the role. It's like, alright, fine, hire him. Alright, so what do we do about the Deadpool character? Well, we're gonna sew his mouth shut. How about that one of them? That sounds like a good thing. You know, the talking merc with a mouth. Yeah, we're gonna sew his mouth shut. And people didn't like that part. People didn't really like that they did that. So Deadpool kind of started as a character and died as a character in X-Men Origins Wolverine. And that's all people knew about Deadpool until some test footage was leaked, released. I don't know. Maybe Ryan Reynolds did it himself. Maybe it was the studio. Maybe it was a hacker. Who knows? But test footage of Deadpool got leaked. They had an idea for a movie, but that test footage, without, you know, the leak or release, was never supposed to be shown to the rest of the world. However, when people saw that test footage, they went crazy. And they knew something was there. And then Fox got money eyes. And they knew they could have gold on their hands. So they got Ryan Reynolds back, got a creative team to make a movie. But they basically spent nothing on this movie. I mean, this movie's budget compared to nowadays movies is like 58 million. That was like the budget of the movie. Nowadays, if you don't have $200 million on the initial budget, you're not making a movie. Especially not superhero movies. Yeah, on $58 million, Ryan Reynolds and crew, the director Tim Miller, and the writers Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick went to work and they created the Deadpool movie that we now know. So, how was the movie? Well, let's start by talking about the merc with the mouth himself, Ryan Reynolds. Now, I will say this. Look, I don't hate X-Men Origins Wolverine. I know people do. I don't. I'm not one of those people who hates X-Men Origins Wolverine. I think it's average. I'd say like slightly below average. But it's not like the dog shit that people will actually say that it is. However, one thing that I will always defend is Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool in that movie. But not when he gets his mouth sewn shut. But beforehand, when he is the wisecracking helicopter guy. During that moment, he is Deadpool, basically. I mean, the writing isn't the best, but let's be honest here. Nothing was good in 2009 because writer's strike. So, even from that moment, I knew Ryan Reynolds was perfect as Deadpool. So, in this movie, Ryan Reynolds is, surprisingly enough, perfect as Deadpool. He embodies the character of Deadpool. All the wisecracking, fourth wall breaking, but in a tasteful way. But he is very faithful to the comics. The origin is changed, so to anyone who hasn't seen Deadpool yet and will see Deadpool, and you know, like they want a full comic book accurate Deadpool, you're not gonna get that. They changed his origin a bit in order to fit this new world so that they didn't have to include Wolverine. But they still kept his wisecracking Deadpool-isms, you know, fourth wall breaking meta humor. And that could be a positive or a negative, depending, of course, on how you view humor. I personally thought the movie was hilarious, but someone else might not. Like, for example, this is just a recent example. It's actually came out recently. The trailer for Captain America Brave New World came out, the teaser trailer. And in that teaser trailer, they make a joke about the fact that the Red Hulk has been recast. They make a joke about that where it's like, yeah, I lost the mustache. It's either you lose the mustache or you lose the election. And that's how they basically explain why he looks different. And I've seen some people get like, oh my god, it is so insensitive. So it's like humor works in different ways. Some people find that funny, like me, and some people will not and will be like, it's insensitive. So that's where the whole like positive or negative for this movie can come from. I thought that Ryan Reynolds and his humor was perfect in this movie, and it worked perfectly for Deadpool. The next character we could talk about is one that I personally really like, Colossus. Because this is technically, maybe, possibly supposed to take place in the same universe as the X-Men movies. But we have Colossus in this movie, and Colossus works so well as basically a foil to Deadpool. Because Deadpool is all about, like, I'm gonna kill that one, everyone dies. And then Colossus comes in and is like, Deadpool, you should not kill. No killing. You need to be X-Men. You must be hero. And it's like, Deadpool is not a hero, and he's not gonna be an X-Men, alright? X-Force maybe, but not X-Men. So they work really well off of each other with the wackiness of Deadpool and the serious hero stuff from Colossus. They work really well together. Negasonic Teenage Warhead, which apparently is an awesome name, to me it's just a mouthful of words, is fine in the movie as well. We also have TJ Miller in the movie, who is funny. Apparently TJ Miller has run into some issues though, but outside of his personal life and maybe him actually being a terrible person, he was great in this movie as well as the Deadpool's best friend. And also we have Vanessa, the love interest, because this is still a romantic movie. Was this actually released on the April? It was actually released in February. But anyway, this is supposed to be a romance movie, so we need a romantic interest, and we have Vanessa. And she was pretty well in the movie too. She's not just like a love interest in that sense, because she actually has a backbone. I like that in the movie. But she also is kind of a weak point in the movie, but that's the whole driving force of the movie, without spoiling anything. But her weakness is like, her weak points are basically the driving force of the movie and where the story goes. However, if I have to make one comment about like a negative about this movie, I guess I would have to say Ajax, who is the main bad guy of the movie. He's a bit of a weird one. Now the thing is that he is also a mutate, and his powers are kind of weird, because every power has ups and downs. For example, you have Spider-Man, who has spider powers, at least climbing on walls. But then he has radioactive sperm, which is real. Look it up. And then you have Deadpool, who, can't die, but he basically looks like a burnt avocado. That's basically what he looks like. For Ajax, he has his strength and reflexes are enhanced, but he doesn't feel pain or really anything at all, as he says in the movie. However, he does show emotion in the movie, so it's kind of weird. However, I thought he was a fine villain in the movie itself. However, story-wise, there isn't really much there. I will say that. He doesn't necessarily have a character or anything, like a backstory as to why he does what he does. It's just like, he's the bad guy. Deadpool must stop him. There you go. But he's still better than like Ironmonger or Whiplash from Iron Man 1 and 2. You don't even know who I talked about until I said Iron Man 1 and 2. Maybe they still don't even know who I'm talking about. But that, I would say, is a bit of a downside for the movie in that sense, if you really want to talk about downsides, because I don't really have much negative to say. The movie is funny when it needs to be funny. Some jokes do kind of, like are hit and miss, but that's how you always have humor. Certain jokes are funny to you, but they are not to me. In that sense, but Deadpool himself and Ryan Reynolds' charisma are just perfect in this movie, and I can't praise it enough anymore without going really into spoilers. So I guess for a final verdict, I will have to go for my first ever movie review. Now this is actually a good thing. My first ever TV series review was Knuckles, and that one I didn't really like. This is my first movie review, and I did like this one. And I would have to give this movie a 10 out of 10, boys. Look, this might not be the greatest movie of all time, but the enjoyment that I felt from this movie is an easy 10 out of 10. And while yes, Ajax not having a backstory can hamper the movie down, or certain jokes not landing, they don't really for me. Because Ajax, what he does in the movie is fine enough, and even then, in a superhero origin movie, the villain kind of always takes a bit of a backseat, because, we need the origin of the hero. It's not like Spider-Man Homecoming, where we technically kind of skip the whole origin. Or where we can have the origin of the hero and the origin of the villain be basically about at the same time happen, like Norman Osborn and Spider-Man in the first Sam Raimi Spider-Man movie. A lot of movies are just gonna turn out like the first Iron Man movie, where we basically just have a bad guy for the sake of having a bad guy, but basically but Deadpool was like, basically just make him entertaining, and then that will be fine. And I will be uploading a spoiler review soon enough, because that's how I'm gonna do these movie reviews, that way. And also, this is the road to Deadpool and Wolverine. Even though I will not be reviewing any Wolverine property, I will be reviewing the Deadpool movies, hopefully back to back, in that sense, where it's like next week, somewhere in the upcoming week, we have the Deadpool 2, so that the week afterwards I can somewhere in that week do Deadpool 3. Maybe all 3 of them will be on each of the Sundays. So thank you all so very much for watching my review of Deadpool. And I do hope you guys have enjoyed my review. And if you did, please like button, subscribe if you're new or if not done so already. Turn on notifications, and don't forget to check out my Let's Play channel, link in the description and at the end of the video. Because the footage that you are seeing during the Deadpool review, the spoiler review, the Deadpool 2 review, the spoiler of Deadpool 2, and Deadpool Wolverine, and the spoiler of Deadpool Wolverine, that gameplay will be uploaded next year. For my Deadpool Let's Play on the Let's Play channel, Assassin Prime 5. I upload 3 videos over there a day, but they're each of different Let's Plays, so technically, if you really only care about Ratchet and Clank, at the moment it's Ratchet and Clank recently started, then you don't have to watch Nier, Replicant, or Pokemon. So I'll see you guys soon for the spoiler review, and I'll see you guys somewhere next week for the review of Deadpool 2. Bye!